This is literally getting cold. I'm the worst at mukbang. This was really difficult. Thank you. Hey guys, what's up? My name is Asia May and thank you so much for joining me today. If you guys are new here, I talk all things business, personal finance, and entrepreneurship here on my channel. So anything ranging from credit cards, investing, starting your own business, you name it, I got it. If I earn your subscription by the end of this video, please go ahead, hit the subscribe button down below, as well as turn on those bell notifications so you know every time I post new videos every Monday and Thursday. Most importantly, you guys, please go ahead, hit the most caress. I don't care what you do. Just hit the like button down below, you guys. It really means a lot to help grow the channel. It helps a lot with the YouTube algorithm, which pretty much means YouTube knows that this information is valuable and they want to go ahead and put it in front of a greater audience. Thank you so much to American Express for sponsoring this video. I'm literally just kidding. I really wish American Express did sponsor this video. Amex, if you're watching this, let's talk. Your people will talk to my people. My people are all just me. No, this video is not sponsored by American Express, even though I really wish it was. If you see one of my most previous videos where I unboxed my American Express Gold card that I just got a few weeks ago, I also go over some of the benefits that come along with this card, and that includes a $10 credit every single month towards certain spend options. This includes Grubhub, select Shake Shack locations, Ruth Chris Steakhouse, and the Cheesecake Factory, and a few more on top of that. I wanted to show you guys that not only do I walk the walk, but I talk the talk when it comes to credit cards, and I want to show you guys all of the amazing benefits that you can get with your credit cards. But you guys, I wanted to keep this business related, and what better topic to talk about than the tax returns of President Donald J. Trump. Oh yes. So if you guys watched the debate that happened last night, you guys would have seen on both sides things were quite hectic, and leading up to the debate, there was quite a few issues that came into play, with the New York Times releasing an article talking about how Donald Trump only has paid $750 in taxes. Not only has he only paid $750 in taxes, but the article goes on to talk about how he specifically did not pay taxes in some years at all. For many Americans, this is something that is very concerning. People look at a number like that from a billionaire and they think, why am I paying taxes? How exactly did Donald Trump do it? Is he evading his taxes? How is this completely legal? And sis, let me just explain to you, we are going to talk about all of this in this video. This is not a political video. If you are looking and expecting me to go off on Donald Trump or say something or whatever, that is not what this is about. This video is strictly going to be about educating, informing, and learning together about what exactly tax loopholes are and how exactly people like Donald Trump are able to take advantage of them and use them to their benefit. Whether you believe tax loopholes are viable or not, maybe we'll have a little bit more of a discussion about that in the comment section down below after you watch this video. Comment down below what your thoughts are, your ideas are, if you agree with what Trump is doing, if you don't agree. But please, you guys, let's just keep this friendly. We don't need to be mad at each other. We don't need to be angry with each other. There's a lot of hostility already right now in America. We don't need to continue that on my channel. So please be civil, be respectful of others, but I really do want to hear your thoughts. So now that we have that out of the way, you guys, let's start opening this up because this is getting cold and your girl is hungry. It is cold. My milkshake is a little bit, you know, she's maybe not bringing all the boys to the yard. She's a little melted. Ooh. Pumpkin shake for the holidays. Basic girls rejoice. So you guys, yes, not political, we talked about it, but let's just talk real quick about what we're eating. So we got the pumpkin spice Shake Shack milkshake right here, and then they also have on special these spicy fries with cheese sauce. That looks disgusting. This cheese, y'all, I wish that this could zoom out. That is so gross. You know when like the top layer, why did I just dip my, ooh, that's good. And then I got it's like a stack burger. It's like the regular cheeseburger and the mushroom burger. If you guys are ever wondering why Americans are so big, this is your answer, okay? There you go. What is the problem at hand and what is everyone talking about? Oh my god. The New York Times article goes on to talk about, and I'm going to give you guys a quote right here to say exactly what they were talking about so you understand the context. One thing that is more concerning to me is the fact that the New York Times does not state where exactly they got this information from, nor do they actually produce the actual tax returns themselves. Donald J. Trump paid $750 in federal income taxes the year he won the presidency. In his first year in the White House, he paid another $750. He had paid no income taxes at all in 10 of the previous 15 years, largely because he reported losing much more money than he made. The New York Times article continues on and says, his finances are under stress, beset by losses and hundreds of millions of dollars in debt coming due that he has personally guaranteed. Also, hanging over him is a decade-long audit battle with the International Revenue Service. And honey, if we know something, you do not mess with the IRS. However, the article does continue on to say, from what I just stated, over the legitimacy of 72.9 million tax refunds that he claimed, oh my gosh, and received after declaring huge losses. 72.9. That is something that is concerning for a lot of Americans, considering the fact that most Americans make considerably less than Donald Trump. Even though their incomes are fractions less than Donald Trump, in some cases thousands of fractions less than what he makes every year, they still tend to pay a lot more in taxes than he really does. I did a little bit more digging on MarketWatch, MSNBC, and Business Insider, and I found a few articles that talked about the average American salary and how much they pay in taxes. All of this was based on research and data analytic points that were found on the IRS website, and they have it clearly stated there too. I went ahead and did a little bit extra research and tried to find the data points myself, and I actually was able to find it on the IRS website. If you guys are interested in seeing any more of that information, I'll leave all of these sites linked down in the description box below. But the articles go on to talk about how the average American in 2018, their tax payment was on average $15,322. The article goes on and continues to say, Americans in the most common income bracket earned an adjusted gross income between $50,000 and $75,000 in 2018, and paid an average income tax of $4,688. But you guys, we're going to go into how exactly this ended up happening and what exactly a tax loophole is. It is important to keep in mind, you guys, tax loopholes are available to everyone. However, I do understand the fact that it's only going to be utilized and really only available to use properly by people who have the ability and capital to utilize them. Though I understand that this is going to be an unpopular opinion by a lot of people, loopholes are actually something that are quite stimulating and can be made for good reason. Tax loopholes were made as an incentive for wealthy people to go out, spend, and invest more of their money as opposed to just hoarding it for themselves. And in order to do this, the government wanted to do it in a way that is beneficial for them, but they knew that in order to get people to actually do it, they needed to sweeten the deal for them as well. The basic premise of tax loopholes was to pretty much get people to spend more money and invest it in the stock market, in enterprise, and as well as real estate. You also have to understand on the flip side of it though, these same people who were making these laws were building them for themselves as well as their rich buddies that were giving them money. Though people want to immediately point their finger and Though people want to go ahead and point their finger and say that this is wrong and it only benefits the rich, I'm not going to lie to you guys, it really can only be enjoyed by people that are wealthier. Most people are just concerned about surviving, as we have seen with everything happening with the pandemic and the sheer number of people who have filed for unemployment and were not able to pay their own rent. So first we talk about capital gains loopholes. Capital gains loopholes can be accessed in a number of different ways, whether that be in the stock market or maybe in different ways in business. You can write off typically capital gains losses in a few different ways. Before we get into that, what exactly is capital gains? Capital gains is defined simply as a profit from the sale of property or investment. In my own layman's terms, capital gains is simply the profit that you make after selling off an asset or an investment, such as stocks, real estate, or so forth. For this example, let's just give an example about the market. I realized, you guys, I'm not very good at mukbanging. Let's say that I buy into Tesla at $1,000, right? And then Tesla goes up, the market is going crazy, the quarantine is making everything go nuts, all the day traders are now on Robinhood, things are shooting up, life is good. So we think, right? Then my share that I ended up buying for $1,000, let's say it just goes up all the way to $2,000, just to keep it simple. Let's just say that I want to go and buy 500 burgers. Is that a lot? So let's just say now I want to buy a bunch of Shake Shack and I want to cash out of my Tesla stock, right? I'm not going to be making that full $1,000, not because I physically can't, but because there's these things called, as Uncle Sam likes to say, taxes. The rate at which you are taxed on capital gains is going to be different from your income. Even though I might have $2,000 that I now have in Tesla and I need to cash it out, I do still need to pay taxes on that. Uncle Sam still needs to get paid. My whole purpose is, at the end of the day, I'm just a student. I don't want to have to pay as much in taxes. Or even someone who is a multimillionaire. They probably don't want to pay those taxes either. You might be paying capital gains tax of anywhere between 0, 15, and 20%. Now, this is something that needs to be kept in mind because that on average is a lot less than the tax rate that most Americans end up paying. Based on your income taxes can definitely range. It could be maybe 20%, it could be 30%, it could be whatever it is based on whatever tax bracket you fall under. Simply put, you guys, you are going to be paying a smaller percentage of taxes when you get the capital gains tax and you pay that, as opposed to it being charged as a personal income tax. Personally, I'd rather be paying only 15% on the capital gains tax as opposed to maybe 30% for my income tax. That is just one small example about how capital gains taxes are utilized within the stock market. Another tax loophole that is oftentimes utilized by individuals is real estate write-offs. One of the big things that a lot of you might already be a little bit familiar with if you watch some of Graham Stephan's videos about real estate and taxes and accounting and write-offs and all of this stuff, one of the reasons why wealthy people really enjoy using real estate as a tax write-off is for the depreciation value of it. Depreciation of assets over a course of time of the expected lifetime of the house can be deducted from that person's taxes over time. So let's just simply say that we have a house that we are buying for $100,000. What we would then do is calculate the expected lifetime of that house and divide the number of months by the value of the home. Every single month, let's just say that the house's value goes down by $500 just to create a round number and not have to do any math. You are then able to write off that $500 amount every single month for that year. So at the end of the year, you end up getting $6,000. Yes. Yes, quick maths. You are able to end up claiming that that $6,000 has gone towards depreciation, and that is deducted from what you are going to owe in taxes. Simply put, this is a way for people to leverage the assets that they have in order to pay less in taxes. This is just one of many ways that you can utilize real estate for your benefit. There are many other ways that people are able to take advantage of this. For example, let's go back to maybe capital gains, but from the aspect of a home. Let's say that you're a flipper and you buy a property for $50,000 and you end up selling it for $100,000. That $50,000 that you have in profit, you can then go ahead and take that $50,000 that you otherwise would have had to have paid taxes on because that is your profit. That is the capital gain that you have. And instead of doing that, you could just go ahead, reinvest that into a different property that you want to go ahead, fix, flip, and repeat the same process. This was too much. I'm going to wash my hands. The beauty is that when you take that $50,000 and you invest it into a different property, you don't have to pay the taxes on it just quite yet. In fact, as long as that money is still tied up into another investment, you are able to defer your payments for those taxes until that money is then again a capital gain. However, the question then becomes, what if I just keep doing it and keep dumping that money into different properties and keep growing my real estate portfolio? Well, as a matter of fact, that's what most real estate investors do. Real estate investors are people who are savvy with their money, and they don't just always use their own personal capital. They use ways in order to leverage the capital that they've had from initial investments, whether it's through cash out refinancing, fixing and flipping, whatever the case is, you guys, it's leveraging your own money as well as other people's money. So now I want to talk a little bit more about specifically how did Donald Trump use these tax benefits for himself. The first, you guys, is going to be real estate losses. Donald Trump reported huge amounts of real estate losses for his properties. This goes from anything from his Murcielago estate that has become very infamous over the past 4 years as he's been president. And this all goes back to the idea, you guys, of using other people's money as leverage in order to buy assets for yourself. He was then able to utilize other people's money, whether it be banks or whether it be private investors. Then he was able to buy these assets and just take out a loan for the rest of it. Not only was Donald Trump able to report losses for this, he also had huge outstanding loans for his hotels, and he was able to also write off a lot of the materials that were utilized for the hotels. A lot of people might not know about different loopholes that people are able to utilize, whether it be entrepreneurs and people who just work for themselves, and different ways that businesses are able to write off their own expenses. Some of the materials he was able to write off are things such as linens for the hotels, silver, roofing, and photography. Those are all considered business expenses that he would be able to then write off later on when it came to having to pay his taxes. Think of it as how your typical YouTuber, for example, might be writing off camera equipment. Donald Trump is someone that owns hotels, and those hotels have expenses such as having towels, having new shades. All of these different things are considered business expenses that he is then able to go ahead and write off. Another type of business expense that Donald Trump was able to utilize for loopholes is for brand expenses. This is how I'm going to categorize it. The whole brand behind Trump, as many people see, they associate it with luxury, with real estate, with all of these things, the Apprentice show. And I also want to point out, you guys, the official name for this is not brand write-offs, but this is how I'm going to categorize it, just as expenses for him to uptake and maintain the brand that he has. So a lot of these expenses actually, you guys, were just simply business write-offs too. But they go from anything from $70,000 during his time on The Apprentice for cutting his hair. Other expenses that this covered was thousands of dollars going towards makeup artists for Ivanka Trump and a few other things as well. Those are just some of the business expenses, you guys, and though those might seem frivolous to some people, just think about your favorite beauty blogger, for example. They're able to write off a lot of the makeup that they use to look a certain way for their own brand as a beauty blogger, the same way that Donald Trump and his family have this brand. I'm not saying that this is right or wrong or whatever his brand stands for. I'm simply just saying it in terms of so you guys can understand that as a brand, in your brand image, you are able to then utilize tax write-offs for expenses for maintaining the image of your brand. Other business expenses that he was able to write off were consulting fees. As a matter of fact, in a given year, Donald Trump paid more than $747,000 in consulting fees to just one specific consulting firm. That consulting firm actually ended up being an LLC that was registered for, who do you guess, Ivanka Trump. But nonetheless, he was able to expense that $747,000 consulting fee because it does technically constitute as a business fee. Now, I'm not going to get too far into the different nuances of this, but I just want you guys to understand that in a regular business environment, you would be able to write off those different consulting fees. Maybe, for example, you run a tech company, or maybe even you have a small mom and pop business that is beginning to scale and you need a consultant to come in. You are then able to write off those expenses for the consultant fees, whether or not you're Donald Trump or a mom and pop shop. Even though the circumstances for him were a little bit more sketchy simply because it was his daughter, and the fact that all of his children have different LLCs that they use in order to charge their consultant fees. However, you guys, it's well above my pay grade, nor the frustration to get too far into that. You guys can form your own opinions about this. As a matter of fact, Kevin just did an amazing video going step by step, line by line breakdown of Donald Trump's different tax returns. He really broke it down into different areas of what the expenses were. I highly recommend going over to Kevin's channel and watching that video because it really was amazing. I always like to give credit where credit is due, so thank you, Kevin, for putting that video out there. But at the end of the day, you guys, it just goes back to always having multiple different sources. So please don't just watch my video, even though you already have liked it and subscribed to the video because of how amazing I am and how good this food was. Jokes aside, you guys, though, make sure you look at other videos, make sure you talk to other people and have a conversation with people outside of who you normally would talk to. With that, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and log off. Thank you so much for joining me today for this mukbang discussion video. Don't forget, you guys, which I know you haven't because I already know that you liked. Please, you guys, go ahead, hit that like button down below, smash the most caress. I don't care what you do, just go ahead and do it. Hit the subscribe button down below if you want to join the family. But also, you guys, while you demolish and smash the like button and the subscribe button, just go a little bit further next to the subscribe button and hit that bell notification so you know every time I post new videos Monday and Thursday. And of course, you guys, again, if you want to get $10 off of your Grubhub, Shake Shack, Ruth Chris Steakhouse, whatever the case is, make sure you go and check out my American Express Gold unboxing video where I talk about the different benefits of the Gold card and how exactly I was able to get this meal for pretty much half off. But on that note, you guys, thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, you guys. Mwah!